This video is brought to you by...
You already know what it is. Cool Green Clothing. We done gone worldwide, and we coming straight out of Baltimore. And if you're in town, pull up on us at 215 West Saratoga Street. And if you're not in town, go online right now at coolgreenclothing.com and make your purchase. Oh yeah, and by the way, if you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way. And that's just basic.
What's going on, YouTube, fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of the Baltimore Way, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. It's free. It helps get the video out there. Definitely watch this video to the end so you can hear the full story and all the details in the case. Everything in this video is alleged. For my day one fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, feel free to share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. With that being said, let's get right into the story. For a lot of young men trying to navigate in this cold world, things can be tough. Trying to figure out where you belong, what's your purpose, and what exactly you want to do in life. A lot of us go through growing pains, trials, and tribulations, especially if you come from a certain environment. You can have a good head on your shoulders and taught all the right things, but what you see outside your environment can override all of that and become your reality. Between peer pressure, not wanting to look like a sucker to your block or the guys around your way, or just fighting for some kind of identity, something you could call yourself, even if it's bad, like a shooter, a trapper, or a robber. In certain places, even though it's sad, these titles hold weight. And for a lot of young men, they will face a crossroads and have to choose. Whether they want to go left, do what the crowd is doing, or stand out and go right and try to change the narrative. More than often though, most people fall victim. Even myself at one point, and either do something they can't come back from, get that F on your back, or a felony that follows you for years or the rest of your life. Or worst case scenario, many lose their lives trying to prove to the streets they are like that. But every once in a while, a young man will have a wake-up call. Go through something and try to choose another way of life to try to right their wrongs. But life is not fair, and sometimes the hardest thing to do is change. That's when you are tried the most, and some unfortunately never make it through their test. And on this episode of the Baltimore Way, we'll be taking it all the way back to 2011 to discuss the case of a young man who gave up the streets for one night out with friends, changed everything. Back in 2011, 24-year-old David McLaughlin Jr. was doing alright for himself while navigating life in Baltimore. The young man had a good job with the city, a loving family, including his mother, who he is very close to, and he even found the love of his life, in which him and his girlfriend at the time decided they would make things official, with plans of soon jumping the brum. So she became his fiancé. With his 3 kids and her one, they decided to come together as one and blend their family. David was locked in and focused. Some might ask, why was he so passionate and knew exactly what he wanted at such a young age? That's because he had already saw what was on the other side. David was in the streets heavy and was in and out of trouble. But after losing friends and understanding his freedom would be gone if he stayed on that path, he switched everything up to become a family man and was making plans for his family, planning for his wedding, and also saving up money to buy a car, a family van, for him, his fiancée, and his kids. It seemed like life was looking up for the hardworking young man, but still in his prime, every now and again, David would want some time out for himself to go kick it with close friends. On March 19th, 2011, it was a normal day in Baltimore. David was out shaking and baking and moving around. His first move was to stop at his mother's house, where she had been holding some money for him to put towards the van, $1,000 in cash. And what she told her son, make sure you pick that up. Don't let nobody see you with that. You know how it is out here. He told her, like, all right, mom, bet. Then he stated he was going to go link up with a few friends. He asked could he take her car, and he would make sure he put gas in it when he bought it back later. David headed to the meetup location. His peoples was at a lounge in Woodlawn, Baltimore County. The night was going smooth. They all chopped it up, had a few drinks before going out in the parking lot. Late into the night, into the early morning hours of March 20th, another group of young men who was also at the lounge came out to the parking lot as well. Somewhere in the mix, David's group and the other group locked in on each other and had a few words back and forth. But the back and forth quickly got heated, to the point it almost went to hands being thrown before the two groups were separated. David and his peoples, thinking that was that, he hopped in his mother's car, and as he promised, he headed to a gas station to fill it up. He pulled up to the Shell in the 4500 block of Emerson Avenue in West Baltimore, right by the shopping center. But David didn't know the men from the lounge had followed him the whole time, and they was deep. It's not clear if his homies had went home or if he was by himself at the gas station. But David was approached. Holding on to some of the street code, he chose to stand his ground, as in certain environments, you don't run. As he squared up to throw hands, he started getting banked or jumped before one man in the group he was fighting with ran up on David swinging. David quickly realized it wasn't a fist he was hit with though. He was cut. As he fell to the ground, everybody ran, and witnesses called BPD. When they responded to the scene, he was suffering from multiple cut wounds. David was rushed to a local hospital, but unfortunately, he wouldn't survive his injuries. As police was left to deliver the devastating news to his family, even some of them were shocked, as they knew the young man from back in the day when he was in the streets, and watched his transition from that to a family man and a working man. At first, the only thing police had to go on was David was fighting. His mother thought it was a robbery attempt and thought maybe he had took the $1,000 out with him after she told him not to. But the fact of the matter, her son was now gone, and she wanted answers, as she had to explain to her grandbabies why their father wasn't coming home anymore. As people who knew David showed their respects by making a memorial at the store, an investigation started. Police relied on store surveillance. It showed some of the fight. David trying to hold his own before a man ran up with a knife. As the street started talking, police got a name of a suspect. At the time, 28-year-old Terrence Fitzhugh. When police picked up the man for questioning, Terrence didn't lie. He claimed, he was a part of the fight by the Emerson Village Shopping Center. He claimed two men were putting hands on him. Terrence claimed he saw one of them drop a knife. So in self-defense, he picked it up and started swinging it. But police felt the video showed otherwise. And with that confession, Terrence was taken into custody, charged with first-degree hit and assault. After being charged though, it seemed like the case disappeared. Doing all my research, I couldn't find any more information on whether or not Terrence was sentenced for the situation or the case was dropped. But either way, rest in peace to David. I send my prayers and condolences to his family, his mother, fiancé, definitely his kids, who by now are teenagers, if not older. It's terrible they lost their father like that to a situation that really wasn't about nothing, an argument. This one I can relate to because bro was around about the same age I was when I chose to try to work, be a family man, and change my life. I was also in my 20s when I made that decision, and I was on parole, backing up 15 years if I violated or got in any trouble. But I learned all the way back then, when you are trying to do right, that's when you are tried the most. That's when all the trouble and tests come your way. And the hardest thing to do when you are fresh out the streets and know how you would have carried the situation back then is to swallow that pride, walk away, and say, you know what, yo, you got that. Not because you are scared, but because you know what you have to lose. But unfortunately, every day for a lot of men, we fight with our pride and ego, and petty situations turn major, leaving families to suffer for decades. Who knows what David could have went and did with his life, or how his passing affected his kids. But we never think that far until it's too late. But I want to know what y'all think about this situation, fam. Leave it in the comments. Yeah, man, crazy story. Rest in peace, that man. I definitely send my prayers to his family. But I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. This is another episode of the Baltimore Way. It's your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.